Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you for a few minutes today about a topic that I think is super important as you go through whatever your goals are with real estate or finances or anything like that, and that is the topic of self-education. I think it's super imperative that you educate yourself, however you want to do that. There's a plethora of ways to do that this day and age, from podcasts to books to seminars to online classes. It's becoming easier and easier to do this, which is the good news. The bad news is that it's extra work on top of your already very busy daily lives. But the fact of the matter is that today's school system does not prepare you in financial literacy. It just simply does not. I didn't learn any of this stuff in business school in college or in my high school or in grad school. None of that. It was all self-educating. I think you don't need to know a whole bunch just to start. Just find a book and start reading, or a podcast or anything like that. Any way you are educating your mind to receive new information, some of that will stick. And I think you need to get very fanatical about that. I think that's very important. Some things that I do, I'm a big book reader. Love books. I've had mentors recommend books, and I listen to everybody else's recommendations when I listen to podcasts and things like that. And I read books very regularly, every day, at least in some point of the day. I do a couple of tricks. I'm not the fastest reader. I'm working on that. But one of the tricks you can do is there's a app called Audible, which is through Amazon. I subscribe to that. I buy ebooks online and I listen to them on my way to work. It's a great way to not kill time, but to fill otherwise vacant time with education. And I think that that is super important on your journey of financial education. You don't know everything. I had a mentor tell me one time, he drew a big circle on the map, or on a board, and he put a little dot inside the circle. He said, Nate, the big circle represents all the knowledge in the world. And he put a dot and he said, that's what you know. And then he drew a little circle just outside of my little circle or dot, and he said, that's what somebody else's knows. You might not agree with that, or you might not jive with that or understand that, but it's still real. What you want to do is try to expand your circle as big as possible. There is no way you can learn all of the information in the world. It is just too much, right? So focus on the areas you want to get good at. I focused on real estate, positive mental attitude were big ones of mine, dreaming, what else? Just becoming a leader. I have a lot of leadership books, and you get to tap into these minds that have already done what you want to do, and they become not a mentor you can ask questions to because there's no feedback, right? But they are giving you their advice, and it's very sound advice. And if you can do that and add a couple of extra tools in your tool belt, it will serve you immensely. Some books that just come to mind as good starters, I think, for wanting to start in real estate or anything like that, I think you really need to build a foundation of a positive mental attitude. I think that is super important, and to expand your dreams. Somewhere along the line, we were taught not to dream anymore. You know, when we were 18, everybody was going to tackle the world. Well, by the time people are 25, 28, somewhere in there, they're stuck in these 9 to 5 jobs and these ruts. We got to learn to dream again. So some books that just come to mind right away are The Magic of Thinking Big. Awesome book. I've read it multiple times. It's great, just a pick-me-up. You can even I usually pick the chapters I want to read now because I know what they entail. Anything by Ogman Dino is amazing for a pick-me-up. Richest Man in Babylon, Greatest Salesman in the World, things like that. Napoleon Hill, hit him up. Awesome stuff. Probably his most famous work is Think and Grow Rich. Absolutely awesome. Let me grab some of the stuff. So Think and Grow Rich is awesome. What else does he have? Work Your Own Miracles. I'm looking at on my bookshelf. He just bought one of his, actually. Just came in the mail. What's this one? Success Through Positive Mental Attitude. I haven't read this yet. I'm going to. It's one of my next up books. And the best thing about this compared to what you did in school is you won't be tested. You don't need to retain all this information. You just need to start putting in good things into your mind, right? We are flooded with information on a daily basis, social media, TV. That, it depends on what you want in this world, but that isn't necessarily good information. You know, I heard somebody tell me, I said that you can't control what goes in, you know, what your brain receives or whatnot, but you can limit things. You can limit the TV, you can limit the social media. And say you have a bucket with dirty water in it. Well, there's no way to turn the bucket over, say, and dump it out, theoretically, in this model. All you can do is put good, clean water in and water that down, because there's no way to get that dirt out of there. But eventually, if you put enough good, clean water in that bucket, that dirt will become so diluted it's not even there. And that's the theory you want to do here. You want to just start putting good things in your mind and fill your inputs with valuable things, not TV. Guys, sorry, ESPN, turn it off. What is it doing? The biggest scandals usually show up on there, things that are not good necessarily for humanity or anything like that. Yes, I log on and I check the scores of a game every once in a while. However, I do not turn to ESPN in the morning and find out the highlights. Unfortunately, that is not doing anything for my family. Just isn't. What Tom Brady did or LeBron James did does not feed my family. That is a hard truth, but shut them off. Don't watch other men achieve great things. Why don't you go out and achieve something great? That's my advice. So I do not watch ESPN. I don't watch local news. A lot of negativity there. You know, feed your mind with positive things, guys. That is super, super important and probably my biggest key to success. I can't stress that enough. Other books I want to try to think here. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I guess I mentioned that. One of the foundational books that everybody's heard is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think that's a great spot to start. Other just all-time bestsellers. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People is awesome. Who You Are When No One's Looking is a great one. Talks about character. I could go on and on, but I think those are some good spots to start. And that's not going to be like how to make millions, but it's going to expand your mind that say, hey, you can do things. You can do things more than you are now. You can dream again, and it's going to expand your mind. And you guys have great ideas. I'm not a super great idea guy. I'm a simple copycat of learning things, and you guys can learn as well as I can, or maybe you guys do have that great idea that I never did, and this is going to allow you to unlock that potential. And I think that's super important. A mentor told me one time that books bring us face to face with our inadequacies, and it's hard for us to do as an ego thing. However, they do. That you'll read something, and go, I'm terrible at that. Man, I'm bad at that. And it's just you in the book, and you're going, this is where I need to learn. It's super powerful, guys, if you can start to develop that. Don't make the last book you ever read the last thing you were assigned in college or high school or anything like that. Continue that education. And again, I think I'm outdated more and more in this. I listen to some podcasts, but I'm a book guy. I'm surrounded by books. I have a bookshelf over here, and I have a whole bunch of books in this closet right back here that I haven't taken out in years, but I've already read. I think podcasts, and there's other social media routes, YouTube, like you guys are doing now, all counts as education. So I'm trying to get more in depth and more in tune with those as I go on as well, but I think that is super, super important. Educating yourself, guys. I don't care if you don't want to be a real estate mogul or anything like that. You want to learn how to cook? Buy some books. Learn from people who know how to do that. Educate yourself. You are going to get better before you even begin by educating yourself in anything you want to do in life. All right, hope that makes sense. Cheers, guys.